Hello and welcome back to the Two Trees Micro Podcast. I'm Kayla here today with Amber. Amber is our client success director here at Two Trees, and we're going to be chatting today about everyone's favorite topic, analytics and reporting and metrics and all of those things. Welcome, Amber.
Thank you so much, Kayla. It's so exciting to be doing this with you.
So I know that at Two Trees, we're a little bit different than some agencies because we have a really strong focus on reporting and metrics. And not only that, but on delivering metrics that are actually relevant and important to our clients rather than just vanity metrics, impressions, clicks, all of that. So just kind of wanted to get your take on how we do reporting at Two Trees and maybe what metrics you think can be most important for clients.
We do things a little bit differently here, like you said. And basically, what we aim to do is that really relentless optimization through constant monitoring. And we have a load of different tools at our disposal we use to really understand what's happening with the client's campaigns and help us to make those like data backed recommendations for optimization. Everyone in the team has access to different types of reporting, different levels of reporting. And a lot of what we do is kind of marry lots of stuff together so that we can see a really full overarching picture of what's happening and really comparing and using like learning periods of data as well to make sure that we're really understanding a good solid baseline so that we have that successful criteria that we know we're aiming for.
I know one of my favorite tools that we use are the live reporting dashboards. And you mentioned being able to use comparison timelines, which I think is really cool because different clients want to see different things as far as what we report, but also kind of what we compare.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's really understanding what the client is looking for in terms of what is success to them. And so we have different definitions of what we consider a successful metric for each client. So we set those definitions based on our conversations with the clients. And that really helps us to understand and translate those client objectives using some technical wizardry and marrying that up into actual ROI for clients.
Yeah, and you do such a good job working with our clients and managing all of that reporting. How do you kind of set the standard for what we're going to include in a report for a client and how we monitor those metrics?
Yeah, like you said, every client wants to see something different. Different things matter to different people, especially when we have clients who have different budget ranges as well. You know, they want to see how their money is working for them and the return that they're seeing on the spend. So I think that a lot of what we do, like you said, it's those live dashboards. And that gives us a really clear picture of what's happening right now. And it helps us to provide those really actionable insights and recommendations on improvement and understanding different metrics for different clients. So some clients are more about like brand visibility and brand awareness, and they want to be seen as much as possible and really get that exposure. Whereas some clients are really focused on converting that exposure into a lead for their business or into, a commercial acquisition for them.
Yeah, for sure. And we really use those metrics a little bit differently from what I've heard some other agencies use metrics as, okay, here's your monthly report. Look how well we did. Now give us more money so we can do this again. And we use that as a little bit of a different conversation starter. Can you explain kind of how we use our metrics at Two Trees when we're talking with our clients?
It is nice to highlight what's gone well, but sometimes it's worth highlighting what hasn't worked as well, so that we can make recommendations on fine tuning, for example, audience parameters. We have a great SEO team who are tirelessly working to optimize landing pages and keywords and all of that kind of great stuff that helps to continue to grow successful campaigns. And I think that, communication is really key for clients and helping them to understand that we're reliable and that we're always kind of using the clients' key objectives as the epicenter of everything that we do in all things reporting.
For sure. Something I like that you do, Amber, is when you're reviewing our client reports, you do make them really actionable, and you'll come up with like, oh, here's a new campaign we can do, or here's like a new creative we could throw into the mix, given these results, which I think is really valuable.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing that I really like that we have access to is keyword reporting as well. So we can understand what keywords are working well for clients, maybe in their Google search parameters, but we can also have a look at what other keywords that the client maybe hasn't included in their campaigns so that we can make recommendations based on knowledge of what is working well for maybe their competitors in that space.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amber. This was great.
Yeah, thank you for having me.